Our brains are amazing. They are incredibly complex organs that control everything we do, from the simplest tasks to the most complicated processes. The human brain is capable of processing vast amounts of information every second, allowing us to interact with the world in ways that are both automatic and deliberate. They help us learn and do things. Whether it's playing a musical instrument, solving a math problem, or simply having a conversation, our brains are constantly at work, making connections and processing information. Our brains use two ways of thinking. One way is fast and automatic, like when we know 2 + 2 = 4. This is System 1. System 1 operates effortlessly and quickly, handling routine tasks and familiar situations without us even being aware of it. The other way is slow and needs effort, like when we solve a difficult puzzle. This is System 2. System 2 requires conscious thought and deliberate effort, engaging our brain's higher functions to tackle new challenges and solve complex problems. This is System 2. While System 1 is great for everyday things, System 2 is essential for learning and growth. It allows us to analyze situations, make decisions, and develop new skills. System 1 is great for everyday things. It handles tasks like walking, talking, and recognizing faces without us having to think about them. We use it without even realizing it. It's like being on autopilot, where our brain takes care of the details so we can focus on other things. System 2 helps us learn new things and solve complex problems. When we encounter something unfamiliar or challenging, System 2 kicks in, allowing us to think critically and come up with solutions. Both systems are important for becoming an expert. Mastery in any field requires the seamless integration of both System 1 and System 2, where practice and experience turn deliberate actions into automatic responses. For example, imagine learning to ride a bicycle. At first it seems daunting and requires a lot of concentration. At first you use System 2 a lot. You have to think about every aspect of riding, from balancing to pedaling to steering. You have to think about balancing, pedaling, and steering. It feels hard. Every movement requires conscious effort and mistakes are common, but with practice it becomes easier. As you continue to practice, your brain starts to automate these tasks. This is because your brain starts using System 1. The actions that once required intense focus become second nature. You no longer have to think about every little thing. Riding a bike becomes an automatic process, freeing up your mind to enjoy the ride. You just get on and ride. This seamless transition from effortful learning to effortless doing is a testament to the incredible adaptability and efficiency of our brains. Have you ever seen a chess master play? They seem to make brilliant moves effortlessly. Do they have superpowered brains? Not really. Chess masters don't have better memory than us. Their secret is pattern recognition. They've spent years studying chess. They've seen thousands of game positions. So when they look at a chessboard, they don't see individual pieces. They see familiar patterns. They recognize the situation and quickly choose good moves. Their brains are like a library of chess knowledge. They can access this information quickly because it's organized in meaningful chunks. Chunking is like putting information into folders. Imagine your brain is a big filing cabinet. If you put all your files in one drawer, it would be a mess. But if you organize them into folders, it's much easier to find what you need. That's what chunking does for our brains. When we learn something new, we break it down into smaller pieces or chunks. We store these chunks in our memory. As we become more expert, our chunks become bigger and more complex. We can hold more information in each chunk. This makes us faster and more efficient. Experts are like detectives. They see clues that others miss. They recognize patterns in their field. This helps them make better decisions and predictions. Think about a doctor diagnosing a patient. They listen to symptoms, look at test results, and consider the patient's history. They use their knowledge to recognize patterns and make a diagnosis. Or think about a musician playing a complex piece. They don't think about every single note. They see the musical phrases and patterns. This allows them to play beautifully and expressively. Pattern recognition is what separates experts from beginners. It comes from experience, practice, and a deep understanding of their field. Section 5, deliberate practice, the key to unlocking mastery. Practice makes perfect, right? Well, not exactly. It's not just about how much you practice, but how you practice. To become an expert, you need deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is focused and challenging. It pushes you beyond your comfort zone. It's about identifying your weaknesses and working on them specifically. Imagine you want to learn a new language. Simply watching movies won't make you fluent. You need to actively study grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. You need to practice speaking and writing. You need to make mistakes and learn from them. Deliberate practice is hard work, but it's the only way to achieve mastery. Section 6. The limits of prediction, Warren Buffett and the stock market. Experts are good at making predictions, right? Sometimes, but not always. Even the smartest people in the world can get things wrong. Take Warren Buffett, for example. He's one of the most successful investors ever. But even he admits that predicting the stock market is incredibly difficult. The stock market is influenced by so many factors: economic conditions, political events, even the weather. It's impossible to account for everything, so while expertise can certainly help, it doesn't guarantee perfect predictions. Some things are just too complex and unpredictable. Section 7. Learning from mistakes. The power of feedback loops. We all make mistakes. It's an inevitable part of life and growth. From the moment we take our first steps as toddlers to the complex tasks we undertake as adults, errors are bound to happen. It's part of being human. Mistakes are not just inevitable, they are essential for our development. They provide us with opportunities to learn and grow. But what separates experts from the rest is how they handle those mistakes. Experts embrace feedback. They understand that feedback is not criticism, but a tool for improvement. Feedback is crucial for learning. It acts as a mirror, reflecting our actions and their outcomes, allowing us to see where we went wrong and how we can do better next time. It tells us what we're doing well and where we need to improve. Without feedback, we would be stuck in a loop of repeating the same mistakes, never realizing our full potential. It helps us adjust our approach and get better results. By listening to feedback, we can fine-tune our skills, strategies, and behaviors to achieve greater success. Think about learning to drive. It's a perfect example of how feedback loops work in real life. At first, you might stall the car or make jerky turns. These initial mistakes can be frustrating and even disheartening. But with feedback from your instructor, you learn to correct your mistakes and improve your driving. Each piece of advice helps you become more confident and skilled behind the wheel. The key is to seek out feedback and use it constructively. Don't wait for feedback to come to you. Actively seek it out from those who can provide valuable insights. Don't be afraid to ask for help or admit when you're wrong. Embracing feedback with an open mind and a willingness to learn can transform your mistakes into stepping stones for success. Section 8. Leaving your comfort zone. The path to growth. Growth is not a destination, but a journey, a continuous process of pushing boundaries and expanding horizons. Becoming an expert requires stepping outside your comfort zone. It's about daring to venture into the unknown where true potential is discovered. It means trying new things, taking risks, and embracing challenges. Each step into unfamiliar territory is a step towards growth and self-improvement. Think about learning to swim. The initial fear of water, the struggle to float, and the effort to coordinate movements are all part of the learning process. Staying in the shallow end won't make you a strong swimmer. It's comfortable, but it limits your potential. You need to venture into deeper water where the real challenges lie, even if it feels scary at first. The fear is natural, but overcoming it is what builds strength and resilience. The same is true for any skill or field. Mastery comes from consistent effort and the willingness to face difficulties head-on. If you want to grow, you need to push yourself beyond your limits. It's about setting higher goals and striving to achieve them. You need to push yourself beyond your limits. This might mean enduring physical strain, mental fatigue, or emotional stress. You need to be willing to fail because failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to success. Learn from your mistakes and try again. Each failure teaches a valuable lesson and brings you closer to your goals. Remember, growth happens when we're challenged. It's the obstacles that make us stronger and more capable. So don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. That's where the real learning begins. Embrace the discomfort and let it drive you forward. That's where the real learning begins. Every new experience, every challenge faced, and every boundary pushed is a step towards becoming the best version of yourself. Section 9, to the building blocks of expertise, structure, repetition, and you. Becoming an expert is a journey, not a destination. It takes time, effort, and dedication, but the good news is anyone can achieve mastery with the right approach. Remember the importance of structured information and repetition. Break down complex skills into smaller, manageable chunks. Practice deliberately and consistently. Seek out feedback and learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself and step outside your comfort zone. And most importantly, enjoy the process. Learning should be fun and rewarding. So embrace the journey of becoming an expert in whatever you're passionate about.